Okay. Let me just make sure. Okay. Well. All right. So, everybody's here today. Okay. And can you guys hear me as well? You guys can hear me? In general chat? Yeah? No? You can't hear me. Okay. Okay, now you guys can hear me, right? Audio check. Yeah. You guys can hear me? In general chat? Audio? Yes? No? Can you hear me? No? Yes? You can or you can't hear me? Like it's showing me feedback on both sides that you can hear me. Okay, so you can hear me. All right, fantastic. Okay, so you guys can hear me. I'm assuming everybody is most interested in the Phantom Opera. Yeah? In a nutshell? That's what we're most interested in. Because the Phantom Foundation, also known as Sonic Labs, has announced that they will stop validating on June 30th of this year. Meaning about 11 weeks from now. Right? 11 weeks or so. So first of all, after some brief cursory analysis, this is actually great. This is actually great. Like the upside of this is way higher than the downside. I know that people generally react to problems negatively. This problem came bundled, or should I say wrapped in, quite a bit of opportunity. Now, I'm not going to go into the numbers of that opportunity, but I would tell you this. It will be much more expensive. It will be much more expensive to move this off of Phantom than it would be to start validating for Phantom and become the largest validation faction for Phantom. To be clear, like the amount of cost that it would take to like airdrop it, move liquidity over, etc., etc. All of that is not worth it. You can spin up a validator for Phantom for about $2,500 a token and like less than $2,000 of technology. Like amazing, like amazing. Like it. When I first came onto Phantom in 2021, it would have costed you $1 million to run a Phantom validator. Are you guys aware of this? $1 million in token and technology. We don't use WeGo for anything. That's for a fact. Legitimately, you can bridge to Phantom based on like how Axelar like wraps the token, if that makes sense. So like I get there's like deep liquidity pools, but like a lot of that I think is actually owned by Phantom as well. Like they plan on like leaving it there, if that makes sense. But for example, we use things like Axelar wrapped Bitcoin on this DEX, right? Like on Phantom, like the Bitcoin that we have on our Phantom side is Axelar wrapped Bitcoin. So if what we need to do is use Axelar wrapped Bitcoin to bridge to Phantom, we will. GV, you might not be aware of this, but I'm actually waiting for a large six-figure check that's coming to me personally, and I'm using the majority of it to deepen liquidity on Phantom. Like, were you guys aware of that? That check might happen before June 30th. That check might happen in a matter of weeks. Yeah, like, I don't know if you know this. There are quite a few irons in the fire, and I've been trying to spin up a local machine for the purpose of validating for one of them for months. So, like, the fact of the matter is, it's a blessing that I'm learning about this now as opposed to building a machine that could not validate. Does that make sense to you guys? But as far as the technology stack and as far as the token count, we can run the, like, I can literally steal a chain for less than the cost of what a dev shop would charge me to build one. Does that make sense? If you were to ask a dev shop to build you a chain like the Phantom Opera from scratch, they would charge you at a minimum 100 grand. Does that make sense? Brand new chain, no history, no community. Does that make sense? Like, they just give you the fresh chain. For a 5-figure number, the Centimeter Circus can fucking take Phantom Opera. A significantly lower number than 100 grand. Does that make sense? Like, it would be stupid not to seize this now. Okay? I know that a lot of people are worried. By the way, Pyre BNB going up, Pyre AVAX going up, because I know that people are scared of Phantom right now. That is a dip that probably should be bought. I am going to fucking expedite whatever I need to do. If I need to borrow money from somebody to pay them back with a 6-figure check, I'll fucking do it. Like, I'm going to be spinning up 3 nodes at a minimum. Does that make sense? We talked about this for about 2 hours this morning in the circus. Other people in the circus want to spin up nodes rapidly as well. Because again, like, I don't know if I'm going to ever get a better deal in my life. Like, I cannot stress this enough. It can be easy to look at this and think it's a bad thing. I assure you, if you look closer, look at the numbers. Like, actually, I did about 7 hours of research this morning on the fucking Phantom Foundation docs. Like, the old docs. I was on the Wayback Machine. I was looking at the 2024 version and stuff like that. Harry Ye. GV, I don't see us doing that. However, if Harry Ye spins up nodes, we would be, co-validating with him. GV, between you and me, I would like to get into a position where I can acquire the original tomb from him. But I don't really see me working with him, like, in a organizational standpoint. Like, I could see us doing a deal or two if I can acquire tomb from him, or if we end up as validators. But, like, yeah. Yeah, I don't think that he is, like, I don't find him very impressive. Does that make sense? Like, so, like, don't worry. I don't esteem him high enough where I feel like a partnership with him would help us. Do you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? GV, he doesn't even have a path back to Peg for Tomb. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, believe. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is. Like, you at least understand that I'm talking about the mechanics of how Pyre and PYRESWAP works and how the incantations work and, like, the theory behind how it deflates back to Peg. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you do understand what that means, right? Yes? And that goes for the other of you in the audience as well. Yeah, so, GV, do they have that at all over at Tomb? Do they even talk about, like, we can use deflation to consolidate the debt? Nobody is on that level over there. So there's no real advantage. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying? And also, the whole partnership with Harry Ye back in the day, I don't know if that helped. I mean, it got fucking 2-share to 8 grand, but, like, I don't know if that lasted very long either way. Would you guys agree? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Oh, is that what they did? They pegged Tomb again? See, I'm not even keeping up with this stuff. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, okay, those are like those peg hacks, right? Like hacking the peg. And the system here is not meant to be a peg hack. Do you guys know what I mean? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, this is not a peg hack. Like, this is not like a confetti peg. Do you guys know what I'm saying here? Like, do you guys get what I mean? All 7 or 8 of you, however many of you are here. Like, this is meant to, like, once we have, like, a user base that gets it, it like, continues to work, like, for years and years. Longer than we've been working on the project, it will work in the future. Like, does that make sense to you guys? Which is why, again, it motivates me to keep working on it. But I'm going to tell you this. For smaller, like, I can't even describe how affordable it seems to just kind of steal the Phantom Opera right now. Does that make sense? Like, it looks very affordable. Oh, I see. Well, Alexei, if we need to do that, we will. Again, I do have 100 to 200 grand coming to me. So like, Chatman, yeah, I will be coming up with the money to spin up validator nodes. We only need a minimum of 3. We're gonna try to aim for 5 actually. Yeah, like this is actually very feasible. If you guys looked into this, you guys would be trying to front run me to do this. Like, I'm not even joking. The upside of this is insane. Yeah, the upside is, like, if you guys did the research on, like, the upside of this right now, you would be doing it right now. I'm not even joking. Like, I have been excited all morning. Like, so I'm not bearish. I'm not here to, like, well, guys, we tried our best. None of that shit. Like, we're going to fight through this, and I've been saying this for a while. Seabiscuit, yes. You need about 32 gigabytes of RAM. You need a 4-core CPU, probably with 8 threads. You need at least 1 terabyte of a solid-state drive. But you don't need a server cabinet. You can run this on, like, a tower computer. Yeah, like, you can build this computer for under $2,000. Does that make sense? Like, $1,500 bucks. Alexi, that can be, yeah, that can be turned back on. Yeah. Like, they probably turned them off because of the whole Mead thing. Yeah, like, because of the whole Phantom Meads to Sonic. So they don't want to, you know, they didn't want Phantom to inflate. Yeah, do you know what I mean? They didn't want to, do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, it could, GB. And by the way, like, they're going to take their fucking coins and, like, bridge them over to S. So they're going to reduce the total supply by 20% as well. But I'll tell you guys this. We're going to try to get this all spun up before June even begins. So, like, before the beginning of June, we will know if there are problems with this plan. Does that make sense? So, before June starts, we will encounter most of the problems if there are problems. And if there are problems and we can't continue, we will declare that in June. Does that make sense? Because who knows what we could find that's wrong with the chain. Does that make sense? Right? But we have about 7 weeks right now to, like, try to take advantage of this. Does that make sense to you guys? But if there is literally nothing that can be done, we'll find out before June begins. In which case, we'll still have a month to figure out what the fuck we're doing instead. Does that make sense? But, like, right now, it is so worth it to fucking try. It is so worth it. Yes, Alexa, yeah, because you can vote on governance according to how their document works. To be honest, the governance is still a bit of a blind spot because either we need to spin up our own front end for the governance, or, like, yeah, like, you can look in the governance section of the docs, and you need 55% of the validator, like, the staked amount to vote. But, like, yeah. They say they're not going to validate anymore. So as long as we keep validating, we'll end up with the majority of the stake tokens. And, like, okay. Like, they're going to take their, like, if we keep validating the chain, they're going to unstake their tokens and just move it over to S. Because that's going to make their market cap go up. Do you guys get what I'm saying? By the way, about 20% of Phantom's total supply is in validation right now. So, like, it's about 70 million Phantom over there. And Phantom's total supply is like 350 million Phantom token. Yes, about 350 million Phantom token. About 20%, about 70 million is in the nodes. So I'm assuming they're either going to abandon it, or if we run validators, they will unstake and then bridge over to S. Does that make sense to you guys? I mean, possibly, but Alexi, but here's the thing. In order to do that, you have to be willing to lock up the fucking token for a while. So, somebody said in the Tomb and Life server, governance can be manipulated when you don't have enough when you don't have enough people staking or you don't have enough tokens staking. This is true in a sense, but also you need to gain governing power. Okay, I gotta reset the camera here. Okay. But to gain governing power, you have to lock up tokens for a while. So it's kind of like a perversion of incentive to do this. Like, what you're doing is like, you're investing your money and then you're like working against your investment. Does that make sense to you guys? So like, I don't know why Harry Ye would want to do that. Well, Pega, according to the stake page, it's now 3 million. I think, Pega, it used to be 3 billion. Maybe they bridge it over to S. Maybe those tokens became S tokens. I don't know. Yeah, and again, Phantom does burn in gas, or at least it used to. And I believe, yeah, something like that. I'll be honest, yeah. Well, I mean, like, it's not that much Phantom, yeah. It's not that much Phantom. Well, first of all, Alexi, arbitrage bots will always find a way to bring more token to the chain. Does that make sense to you guys? So I agree that on the 7-week time schedule, like, I don't know if that could happen, but it's not that much Phantom. And to be honest, okay. Yeah, I have zero problem with that. The second scenario, yeah, I don't give a fuck. If like, okay, like, well, Alexi, that would be pretty crazy that a large holder would be waking up in July, learning that Phantom Foundation abandoned the shit, learns that another organization is keeping it going. But like, who is the large holder? I'll tell you this though. Again, there's over 300 million, sorry, there's over 200 million other Phantom that's still around. It's like, where is the other 200 million Phantom? Is it just like in dust and like over 1 billion wallets? Well, no. I mean, like, GV, validator rewards are minted in real time. Like, that's like it's an expansion. When they're on. Apparently they're not on. Yeah, well, apparently they're not on. Yeah. Either way, we're going to find the answer to all this stuff over the next 7 weeks. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you guys get what I'm saying? So, like, the feasibility of this plan is getting tested as soon as possible. Does that make sense to everybody? Because we will find out if it's possible or impossible. Yeah, like, we're going to figure it out. So, if we go pose a liquidity, etc., 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 I don't even know how much liquidity is over there if we go. But, like, to be honest, like, right now, the house wallet for the circus is holding, like, we could probably legitimately sell our share coins. Does that make sense? And legitimately just snatch up the Phantom through our own liquidity. Does that make sense? Now, you guys might not like that if you're holding the share coin, but that's also like the fire sale for the share coin. It's what keeps the share coin alive in the long run. Does that make sense? That right there is pretty dangerous. I'm not even thinking about doing that. But, like, as far as, like, coming up with the Phantom, it's not that much. Like, how much does Wego have? Is it like 100 grand or $1 million? What's the total liquidity depth there? You know, I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna look this up right now. Actually, you know what? I can look this up on my phone, so I'm not just abandoning the stream here. Okay, so legitimately, can you guys hear me? Legitimately, Beethoven X has a bunch of liquidity. Spooky Swap still has a bunch of liquidity. Fucking, even Thrax on Spirit Swap still has a bunch of liquidity. Yeah, we don't need, yeah, like Tomb. The regular Tomb against Phantom has about 55,000 in liquidity still. Okay? Like, that's enough to get what we need. I'm not joking. Then Beethoven X has another one against Beats with Phantom. Okay? It's still there. Then Boo has about the same amount on Spooky Swap. So that would be even easier. Okay? That's another 50,000 in liquidity. Yeah. That's enough. Yeah. I don't know. Like, we don't need that much. Like, I don't know how much Wego has. But I guess I can look up Wego. I mean, I see that Wego Swap has... I cannot even see this stuff. Okay. Oh, you're talking about the Axelar wrapped USDC, right? On Wego? Okay, that liquidity is still only 75,000. Make sense? Like, so that's not that much more than what's left on Boo or what's left on Spirit Swap. I'm pretty sure Spirit Swap is just like abandoned, right? But like, we could legitimately just use Spirit Swap to do all of it. Like, it'll be fine. And again, like for bridging, okay, when our marketing plan for bridging people over does not require anybody show up with like thousands of dollars. Like, we are in fact training people on like $20. Like, that's what Learn Pyre trains on. Does that make sense? Yeah, 33,000. Yeah, that is less than the other ones. Yeah, okay. Pega, probably from Ethereum to fucking to Phantom. Yeah. We could also do base. I don't know. I have not like originally I meant like another EVM chain. But yeah, I think Ethereum mainnet to Phantom Opera. Like, that would be fine. But like, our whole plan with marketing is to have a whole bunch of people show up with small amounts of money. Because like, that right there is healthier. Okay, how do I explain this? I would rather have 1,000 people show up with $5 than 5 people show up with 1,000. Does that make sense to you guys? Well, GB, it's mostly about training them to do the fewest steps to get to Phantom Opera. If that makes sense? So, we trained them on using centralized exchanges. We trained them on using crypto ATMs. And we also trained them on using crypto gift cards. Or gift cards to funding a wallet. Like 3 ways to get 3 ways to fund your MetaMask. Does that make sense? Or we could use Rabby, I guess. I don't know. You guys follow me? Then we ideally would teach them 2 ways to bridge, which we would use Axelar and we could use Layer 0, which again, we don't need them to come across with hundreds of thousands of dollars. The plan is to get lots of people bringing in small amounts, not like liquidity lock things. Okay, well, Alexi, that's fantastic. And also, Alexi, is the exchange rate correct? Because as you're aware, Dex Screener doesn't show the right prices for Phantom. Right? I need you guys to understand something. When I look back at all the marketing mistakes in this project, I realized that one of the things I did that was wrong was I believed that weak people were strong, and I believed that stupid people were smart. Does that make sense? So, like, nothing about this project going forward is, like, reliant on pre-existing crypto. Does that make sense? And what I mean by that is we don't even care if they've touched crypto before. We are going to train them as if this is their first crypto project, and we're bringing them on a Phantom Opera. But in order for me to feel okay doing that, I need to make sure that Phantom is safe for newbies. Like, we can't fucking do that with this Phantom Foundation, turning off validators bullshit. Yeah. Well, there you go, Alexi. Like, Squid Router is going to be something we use a lot then. And why the fuck not? By the way, some people are worried that, like, Axelar Network will turn off. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, like, Axelar Network is like a smart contract is deployed. Does that make sense? Like, there's no, fuck. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? You can look this up. Like, we looked into the bridges. It does not seem to be any sort of infrastructure risk on Layer 0 or or Axelar. Like, we will use both of them. By the way, all of the Bitcoin that we have on the DEX is from Axelar. All of the Ethereum is from Layer 0. Did you guys know that? Like, that was done deliberately. Does that make sense to you guys? Were you guys aware of that? Well, now you know. That was done for redundancy, if I'm not being clear. But yeah, again, we're gonna find out, like, the feasibility of this plan. We're gonna test it. We're gonna take action on this. And if it's not feasible, we will know that before June. In which case, we'll still have a month to figure out what the fuck we're doing. Does that make sense to you guys? But, like, after doing 7 hours of research this morning, by the way, I woke up 2 hours early, like, because I learned about this. Everybody started freaking out. I got like 17 messages, right? And I'm like, you know what? I'm waking up early tomorrow to do research, right? Like, I'm going to find the fuck out if this is a problem or what we need to do about it. And it still looks like the upside is way higher than the downside. There is also an RPC issue, but I think the hardware solves that as well. We need to spin up our own RPC endpoints. The biggest issue is, like, the governance. Like, that's still a blind spot. Like, is the governance on the chain or is it, like, above the chain? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't know if I have the expertise, but I'll figure it out. Yeah, I'll figure it out. We'll definitely be able to look into this soon. And I'm going to get some fucking hardware going. But, like, again, the amount of tokens we need to spin up a node, we could absolutely buy off of those fucking liquidity pairs. Like, we could do, what's that fucking DEX aggregator called? What's that DEX aggregator? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? The DEX aggregator? Odos, yeah. We could literally just buy Phantom using Odos, and, like, it would be fine, because that means there's, like, several 100,000. We would probably train people to use Odos too. Why the fuck not? Right? Because that way, if they bring over whatever dollar or whatever, it'll just get routed the most optimal way. And again, we don't train people on bringing over thousands of dollars. We train them on bringing less than $100 at a time. If they want to go get more money later, they then know how to do that. Does that make sense? But the goal here is to have a huge user base that all starts off with a small amount that then ends up feeling their own greed and then going to get more money. Does that make sense? Have a whole bunch of people show up at the same time with a small amount of money. That will get all the excitement going. That's also how Bitcoin started. Does that make sense to you guys? Are you guys aware? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, there are just so many wrong ways to think in Web3. And I had to learn the hard way about, like, how not to think. Like, we're going to do this, like, the most ethical, like, and right way. It's not the easiest way, but it's the way that makes us strongest in the end. We're not, okay, things we do not care about. We do not need Deck Screener to show the correct prices. We do not need people to know what CoinMarketCap.com is. We do not need people to know what CoinGecko is. We do not need people to know what MetaMask is. Like, we're only going to train them as if they never knew anything about crypto at all, never touched it. We're going to train them on everything they need to know, everything they need to know to understand this DApp, this project, and then, like, make this project their favorite fucking project. Okay? Like, I mean, you guys have been here with me now for years. You guys have had the time to look elsewhere in Web3 for other projects. There is obviously something quite important about this project, is there not? I agree, which is why this project is my fucking life. Does that make sense? If I could find another project that was impressive, I would go work on that fucking team. Does that make sense? But I'm going to tell you guys this. Web3 will not make it if there isn't like a DApp era. Do you guys get what I'm saying? A DApp era. The whole point of smart contracts is DApps. Like, this is outlined in the Ethereum white paper 11 years ago. 11 years ago, this is for DApps. Nobody has figured out what the fuck a DApp is. Like, DEXs, lending, borrowing and lending. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, they've kind of like moseyed around, but like nobody's really thought about what dApps are meant to do, right? They obviously are going to involve money because that's the whole fucking point of this, right? Like, this is all fintech, but nobody knows like what that entails. Maybe you have to invent new financial instruments. You need to invent new derivatives. You need to invent new banking processes. But like, that's what dApps are going to be built out of. Like, this is what I'm going to do with my life, okay? To be clear. Like, I'm going to be the fucking dApp pioneer. Because nobody else is doing that. Like, they're not really taking a risk like this. You guys already know how this works. The only reason the price charts look like they do right now is because I chose to do a Genesis because I didn't know fucking shit about marketing in 2024. I also thought buying 5 Discords, like all 5 Discord servers, was enough marketing. Like, that would be enough. Surely that'll be enough to get the word out. It wasn't, right? Surely YouTube interviews. No, that's not what it is either. Like, it's there's just more to it. And yeah, like, I mean, again, I come on here week after week, often with nothing good to say at all, other than, yeah, we're still at this, right? But yeah, like, I'm not daunted by Phantom Foundation turning off the validator nodes. And by the way, the fact that they would want to turn off their validator nodes confirms what I've been saying about them for the longest fucking time. They're fucking weak, okay? I'm talking about Sonic Labs. And if they're fucking weak, I'm not going to follow them over to their chain. Because why the fuck do they need to turn off their nodes? A, they ran out of fucking money. Like, why would they need... Does that make sense? I did the math. It's only like a few $100 a year for the electricity on running these nodes. Does that make sense? Like, each node maybe costs like $200 a year. I want to say they cost about 40 cents a day in electricity. Does that make sense? Not a lot. Okay? Like, less than $15 a month. All right? So therefore, Sonic Labs recognizes that because of the Mead bridge they have, that the S token is being held down by Phantom, right? Because, by the way, did it not work exactly like Metatrage the whole time, which I said before they even launched it? Did I not get that right? Because we invented that shit here first, right? Or am I wrong? So therefore, they don't know how to make their token price go up because they don't know what they're fucking doing. Does that make sense? And they don't know how to market S other than, like, internally causing pumps. Like, they don't know what to do. Nobody has given a fuck about, like, blockchain parameters for years. And because they didn't know what to do about multi-chain, they chose to launch a new chain to feel like it was a fresh start. And I don't know. Like, are they winning over there? Why would they do this if they were winning? Why not just have 2 chains? That's what the Moonbeam and Moon River did. They just had 2 chains. They could also just turn off the bridge too. Right? But yeah, I'm just being honest. If it turns out that we need to move the Phantom side to a different chain, it will not be Sonic. I can't fucking trust that chain either. Make sense? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Yes? No? Like, it's... You can't take a risk on, like... You can't trust the decisions of somebody who is somebody who's making them from a place of weakness. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, why would they need to turn off their validators? What would be the reason? Either A, they need money, or B, they're fucking retarded. They're either broke or they're stupid. Does that make sense to you guys? Like, neither one of those makes me excited about the future of that project. I wish them well. If they're going to turn off the Mead Bridge, okay, that's cool with me. It's fine with me. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Do you? Yeah. Like, think about it, though. Like, what? Like, they're either broke or they're fucking dumb. Like, they're out of money or they're out of brain cells. Or out of ideas. Yeah, they're out of money or they're out of ideas. There is no other reason why they would do this. Like, other than what? To, like, put it behind them? Which, again, that also feels weak to me. It just doesn't sound like these are leaders that I would want to follow. Do you guys get what I'm saying? I know that I have, like, 0 room to talk right now because all of the T-Wops are on the floor or whatever. Some of them, sorry, Dibs is at 0.7. Okay. Dibs, for whatever reason, is going to the moon. I hope it has the patience to wait for Pyre B and B to catch up. I'll just be honest with you there. Like, that's very, very high for Dibs. If you guys understand this, the tokens should go to peg together. Like, they should go kind of like in a dance with each other. Okay? Are you guys okay? Does anybody have any questions? There's still like 8 of you here. There's still like a crowd today because obviously there's drama. There's a crisis. But this crisis has an opportunity. The opportunity has immense upside. And we're going to be able to figure out if there's anything wrong with this plan in 7 weeks or less. Does that make sense? By the way, I like seeing that, Pyre AVAX is rallying because it seems that people are scared of Phantom, but they know that it works on other chains. That's great. I love that. Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks so much for your continued bullishness, even if it's bizarre behavior. It's fine with me. Yeah. Alexi, again, if you guys want to peg it, like you can peg it, it will print itself back down. You guys know how this works. Yeah, you guys can if you want. It's there, right? It's on Binance, so that chain is immortal, right? No problems there. Yeah, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Okay. Do you guys have any other questions? Is everybody happy now? At least for this week. Yeah, like there's this feels more like a window of opportunity that should be seized because I don't think it'll last forever, obviously. But also, the price for Phantom is a great price to spin up a validator. Does that make sense? It's a great price to spin up a validator. If validator rewards are turned off, well, then at least we still control the chain. If validator rewards are turned off, we can probably still turn them back on if we get governance control figured out. Does that make sense? Like, if we can figure out governance, we can turn validator rewards back on. Yeah. The reason they were able to do that is because they're the only ones validating. So, like, they can just, like, I guess, vote internally or whatever. Abolito, we will have fucking the nodes before we have Learn Pyre. I mean, sorry to say that, but Learn Pyre, the videos are built around bridging to Phantom, and then we legitimately spend Pyre Phantom being the token they buy. So, yeah, it will be after this for sure. But, like, at least this will be, like, a huge milestone, and this milestone has to happen in the next 7 weeks. So you guys at least know this, right? Yes. No, Alexi, the registration is only for, I can look this up, hang on. I took notes on this all morning, hang on. Okay. The network needs to be aware of your validator key to accept it. The registration process is done by invoking a smart contract called SFC. So SFC is a smart contract. So legitimately, it is a, yeah, it's literally like on-chain forever. Its address is FC00FACE. Yep, exactly. Here, it's this one. It's 0xFC00FACE 00000. That is the FCS, yeah. It's all zeros at the end. That is the SFC contract on Phantom. So I believe we can do that through Phantom Scout as it stands right now. There is still like explorer.phantom.network still up. I don't know if they're gonna take that site down, but whatever. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, like we're gonna figure out all these problems in the next 7 weeks. Yeah, so you can use the Explorer to invoke the registration function called create validator. Yeah, so the registration function is how do I do this? Do I know how to do this correctly? I don't know if I, okay, it is called create. Alexi, that's correct, yeah. Like, I'm not opposed to working with AI, like, while this fucking, yeah. To be honest, the AI might be able to know how we can get governance control, too. Like, I'm not above asking AI. Yeah, so, like, again, by the way, if you guys can learn governance, because, like, if you guys can figure out, like, if governance is on chain, that basically solves the rest of the fucking problems. Because we can adjust Phantom's tokenomics once we control governance, right? Once we know how governance works behind the scenes. Meaning, if we want Phantom, half of it to burn and half of it to go to validators, right? We can change it. Does that make sense? Like, I don't, like, the documentation doesn't show enough about, like, how governance works, but you can upgrade the chain as well. Or, you know, if, it's difficult how that, it's not clear how that works, like, on chain. But I will, I'll look into it, yeah. Anyways, yeah. And then that right there, by the way, is step 8, Alexi. Like the whole registration thing. So I did notes on all like 10 steps. To be honest, I could do this myself with an AI helping me. Like I could like it requires you to know how to do CLI, like command line interface, but you need to set up Ubuntu on a computer. Like you set up Ubuntu, and then they just walk you through how to fucking do it. Like it's still accurate. It seems like correct, and yeah. Yep. Anyways, that's that. Okay, guys. Are there any more questions for the time being? I hope to have some updates next week. If you guys do research, by all means, let me know. Because you know, you guys might find the opportunity to spin up a node quite enticing yourself. And I don't really have a problem with you. Man, fuck the camera. I don't really have a problem with anybody doing this right now because, to be honest, keeping the chain alive is keeping the chain alive is like the top priority. Make sense? And I don't think there's a liquidity problem. And to be honest, the RPC problem can get fixed. I think we have to spin up a validator and create an RPC endpoint all on the same machine for like the first one. And then the next, then it's just getting more fucking validators. We need at least 3. And then we need to figure out governance. Like, that's it. Does that make sense? Okay. Thanks for coming to the PYRESWAP show, or the PyreStream, or whatever the fuck we call it now. See you guys next week. And, don't be scared. Yeah, don't be scared. Again, this is a high-risk industry, okay? And I want you guys to know, I used to, during the heyday of Tomb Forks, I made more money in a day from prints than it costs to spin up a validator node for Phantom right now. Does that put it into perspective? My daily print income in 2022 was more money than the cost of spinning up a Phantom validator. That is token and tech. Okay? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? It would be stupid not to seize this. Okay. And by the way, after we do this this blockchain, Phantom, this was in the top 20 market caps a long time ago. Top 20 chain. So this is not a piece of trash. Do you know what's never been in the top 20? Sonic. Not once. 4 validators? Yeah, Alexi, we're actually aiming for 5. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm okay with it being 4. Yep. Works for me. Yeah. To be honest, it works better with more. I'll tell you this, Alexi. Not only am I planning on getting at least 3, other people in the circus are planning on doing it, also doing it. I don't think we'll have a problem. I think we're at, as soon as we can figure out fucking RPC, okay, literally doing it in the first place, then the RPC endpoint, and then governance. And then if we figure that out, we're good. Does that make sense? That's it. Because if we figure out governance, we can do whatever we want. We control the chain, and we can customize it. It keeps the fucking same token. We don't need any of their fucking websites. I don't know if we might need to launch our own block explorer, I guess. I don't know how that works, but yeah, for sure. Yeah, I believe that it might be down to 3 now, but yeah. It's definitely it'll be okay. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you so much for coming to the Pyre Show. Have a great rest of your day.